All right, welcome in here to Live Now from Fox. We are following some breaking news, just getting this in here. Let's put this up on your screen as we're learning Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem saying she's going to deploy more special operations to Chicago. Here's what this says. Today in Chicago, members of our brave law enforcement were attacked, rammed, and boxed in by 10 vehicles, including an attacker with a semi-automatic weapon. I'm deploying more special operations to control the scene. Reinforcements are on their way. If you see a law enforcement officer today, thank them. This post coming shortly after we did see another social media post here from Department of Homeland Security Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin after she shared that federal agents were rammed and boxed in by 10 cars in Broadview, Illinois, and that's where anti-U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement crowds have been gathering for days. DHS said agents were unable to move their vehicles and they had to exit. One of the drivers accused of ramming into the law enforcement vehicle was armed with a semi-automatic weapon, as we just shared with you here. McLaughlin said officers, quote, were forced to deploy their weapons and fire defensive shots at an armed U.S. citizen. McLaughlin also noted that the armed woman, who was a U.S. citizen, was named in a Customs and Border Protection Intelligence Bulletin. The woman allegedly doxed agents. No law enforcement officers were seriously injured during this incident, adding that the situation is evolving as you are taking a live look now at Chicago. The agents were reportedly performing a routine patrol in Broadview, which is a suburb of Chicago, when the alleged assault occurred. Now, I also wanted to share here some video that we do have from yesterday as Fox News witnessed more than a dozen protesters being arrested in the streets near the ICE processing center in Broadview. Local authorities charged at least 5 people. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem saying yesterday that she and her team also were blocked from accessing the Village of Broadview Municipal Building, located about 12 miles west of downtown Chicago. Noem said that she and her team were stopping for a quick bathroom break. And in the same post on social media, Noem slammed Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker as well. So this is a video from yesterday there. I just wanted to clarify that, but we are learning here. If we could go back to this first post here from Kristi Noem. I'm asking my producer to pull that back up for us. This is just coming in here. We are learning now that Noem is saying she will be deploying more special operations to Chicago in light of all of this. So we will continue to follow this breaking news here. This just coming in moments ago.
Christina Coleman, she has the latest on this morning's attack on law enforcement in Illinois. Christina.
Hi, John. DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin says law enforcement officers were boxed in by 10 cars this morning in Broadview, Illinois, the very same area where anti-ICE crowds have been gathering for days. She said, quote, agents were unable to move their vehicle and exited the car. One of the drivers who rammed the law enforcement vehicle was armed with a semi-automatic weapon. She says law enforcement fired defensive shots at an armed U.S. citizen who drove herself to the hospital to get care for wounds. McLaughlin also said that the armed woman was named in a CBP intelligence bulletin last week for doxing agents and posting online, hey, to all my gang, let's F them up, don't let them take anyone. Very disturbing. Things got violent outside of the ICE facility in Broadview, Illinois, again early yesterday morning. Take a look at that, with anti-ICE protesters clashing with law enforcement. Approximately 250 anti-ICE protesters gathered there. Federal agents fired pepper balls and tear gas to try and break up the crowd, blocking federal operations. Today, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker put out a statement saying the Trump administration intends to federalize 300 members of the Illinois National Guard in the coming hours. Pritzker said, quote, this morning, the Trump administration's Department of War gave me an ultimatum. Call up your troops or we will. It is absolutely outrageous and un-American to demand a governor send military troops within our own borders and against our will. Pritzker maintains that there's no need for military troops on the ground in Illinois, and he says he will not call up the National Guard. Meantime, in Portland, another city with ongoing violence outside of an ICE facility, a fist fight broke out between an ICE supporter and anti-ICE protester. You could see there in that video that was a conservative influencer who had been arrested by Portland police. Explained to our Bill Malusian what had happened. He has since been released. But there you go. You could see that fist fight between that ICE protester and anti-ICE supporter. There you go. There you see him laid out. That's just some of the ongoing violence there. Now, federal authorities say local politics is impacting police involvement. Take a listen.
Unfortunately, local police has been restricted from responding or cooperating at all with federal authorities, which is completely absurd.
Also last night, Portland police say they arrested 2 men who refused to get out of the street and engaged in aggressive behavior toward each other during the protests. Again, just some of the ongoing violence in that area, John. Very, very disturbing.
Yeah, Christina Coleman, what a week. Thank you. We just, received this statement from the U.S. Attorney's Office. The Chicago U.S. Attorney's Office is aware of this serious incident, which placed officer life and safety at risk. This Department of Justice does not tolerate assaults and obstruction of our brave men and women in federal law enforcement. We will investigate and prosecute all those who assault or obstruct federal law enforcement, including public officials, and we will hold them accountable to the full extent of the law. That statement from the U.S. Attorney's Office.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to